Look at that. All right, 5 minutes on the clock, donkeys. And then once it gets going, it'll get going. Well, I'm still good looking, y'all. Here we go. All right. Smith and Blachowicz have arguably deserved light heavyweight title shots. Thoughts on them having a #1 contender fight around the time of Gus Jones, or it can be done early 2019 if DC is next for the Gus Jones winner. I would not mind a Smith-Blachowicz fight. To me, Smith's win over Oezdemir is a bigger deal. But I can understand an argument for Blachowicz. If they want those two to fight, that's fine. But you're kind of eliminating one contender there, and they might actually need it light heavyweight, as many contenders as possible. So it's a fine fight. It's not a bad idea in an ordinary circumstance. I just don't think we're in an ordinary circumstance. Next. Can you think of a more impressive UFC debut in recent history than that of Don Madge? Oh, my God. I'm going to try and still get a hold of Don. I've had some of my producers reach out to him to try and see if we can get a hold of him. We tried out a little bit too late, so we couldn't make him happen for today, but we are going to talk, he and I. I was blown away by how good he was. There's a lot of talent coming out of South Africa. He's still got some issues to work on. He's still a junior fighter in his career to an extent. But look, T. Edwards was not afraid of him at all, came out with total confidence. Look at their body language when they both ended the first round. Total difference. They came back out, and Don Madge had a very, very impressive UFC debut. I would say George St. Pierre beating Carl Parisian as a UFC debut is pretty good too. But yes, that's a really, really good one. Next. Would you be happy if they replaced Face the Pain for Bodies? I'd be happy if those songs never existed. Next. Honestly, not hating here. Why is Artem Lobov in the UFC? They have kicked out way better fighters with winning records. What is Lobov now? 13, 15, and 1. I've made this point before, right? We kind of talked about it earlier. Look, the idea here is this. He will fight anybody, anytime. He, I think, does have a pretty decent level of ability, but his record speaks for itself. And so with 3 losses in a row, to me, if they wanted to move on from working with him, I could understand that. If they wanted to give him one more, I could even live with that. But look, I mean, it sounds like you're trying to be insulting by acknowledging the role Conor McGregor plays in his life. And I don't think that it is. I have deep admiration for every UFC fighter. I truly mean that. And Artem Lobov gets a little bit of unfair criticism because he gets promoted a little bit because of the nature of his relationship with Conor. But at the same time, he gets it because of the nature of his relationship with Conor. That's the way the world works. Like, people who know famous people and people who know powerful people, sometimes things go a little bit better for them. So it's all those things. It's all of those situations combined that put him in the situation that he's in now. It's never one or the other. So you can have admiration for his ability. You can have admiration for his willingness to take on all challengers. And you can also recognize, it's a bit of nepotism going on in there. And if they wanted to move on, I would understand. Next. Would Darren Till be a nice entry fight with Ben Askren, or would that put the fire out of whoever the loser is? By the way, unblock me. I'm about to start doing that Venmo thing. You just Venmo me $10 and I'll unblock you. The thing is with Darren Till and the way his ground game looked, I don't think that's a good idea, because what if, first of all, if Darren Till savages him, that's a fine rebound for Darren Till, but I'm not exactly sure what that would tell you, because we still don't know for sure how he would match up Askren with the very best. To me, if Askren goes in there and smokes him, you've put Darren Till back 2 in a row for no need, and he's 25 years old. And you'd be beating a guy who showed a bit of a weakness in the ground game generally. So I don't know that that's the best idea. Darren Till's 25. He has time to really work on his ground game, and he will, and it will get very, very good. I firmly believe that. No need to risk it against somebody who that's his particular specialty at this juncture. I wouldn't be opposed to really any fight against the top welterweight, but I don't know if that's the best one to make. Next. With the addition of Ben Askren, is now the time to add a 165 division in the UFC. I've been a long-time skeptic of this division. I did a mock draft on my radio show. It came out that you can actually do this and still have a very strong 155 and a very strong 175. If you eliminate 125, so it frees up more roster space. I know folks think that's not a real argument, but it is. If you do that, then I think you can do 165 no problem. Next. What was the biggest mistake made by Real Madrid? Letting Zizou go, sold CR7 to Juventus, or both? It was letting someone who cheers for a loser Atletico team pick the tweets. How about that, 4-0 Dortmund? Next. What do you think would be a bigger fight, Khabib versus Tony or GSP versus Askren? Look, GSP is, well, Khabib versus Tony probably is bigger at this point because if he's surfing off that Conor McGregor fandom. But that's an interesting question. That's one you have to think about. Very good. All right.